Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 1341, written by KitKatPattywhaks, The Tale of the White Feathers. My mother always told me to look for signs. She was very spiritual, not religious, but she did believe in angels and spirit guides and all that. I never believed in any of that stuff. But she would always tell me all these entities from heaven would send you signs as long as you were looking for them. License plate numbers, radio stations, headlines on newspapers, and of course, white feathers. She always told me to ask my angels for guidance whenever I was having trouble and to look for white feathers. Well, I joined the military a few years ago and got shipped out to boot camp. I was the underachiever of all my siblings. So it was the only thing worthwhile I had done with my life up until that point. I needed to make myself and my family proud. I had to prove that I could do it. I injured my hip during a training exercise near the end and was terrified of not being able to complete the training, being sent back home a failure. We had a 20-mile ruck march and a grueling 5 days in the field coming up, and I wasn't sure if I'd be able to make it with my bad hip. So as a desperate reach, I asked my angels for guidance. And I crap you not. 2 minutes later, I walk over to my bunk and what do I see laying there on my blanket but a little white feather? And I start seeing them everywhere. On the floor, on my uniform, on my gear, outside even. I don't know if it's just that I didn't notice them all before, or maybe the pillows in the bays were getting beat up after being used for months, but I kept seeing them. And I marched 20 miles, killed those 5 days, and passed my final PT test with flying colors. Case answer file 1341. The Tale of the White Feathers. So a question. Can our guardian angels interfere in our lives for random, small-scale stuff like a bad hip? Remember in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, where Harry pretends to slip on his liquid luck, the potion that gives you more luck? Maybe those feathers were the same intent. So the idea is the guardian angel can't directly interfere, like directly heal you. But showing you a sign that guardian angels are real gives you the impression that they did. So your confidence level would kick in and then you would just power through the pain because you thought it was healing. A kind of spiritually induced placebo effect. If I'm right and our guardian angels leave this small stuff up to us, then it doesn't mean they can't give us a confidence boost, just give us a good little push. It's wholesome in a way, I think. Case file number 1342, written by Anonymous. Riding with my doppelganger. I was on public transit one time, and saw someone that was just about the same height as me, and looked to have my body type. I just shrugged it off in that moment. As a taller girl with a slightly bigger frame, it's not that rare. The only seat is one directly across from her, so I sat down and put my headphones in. I tend to watch people while I ride to school, so I started to do exactly that. I took a closer look at the girl in front of me, the same shade, cut, and colored hair. Weird. Her head is down, so I can't see her face. But when the bell rings to tell it's the next stop, she looks up. Oh my lord, she has my face. She looks up at me and blinks twice. Same color eyes. I have very odd eyes. So brown they look black. Her eyes are so brown they look black. She stands up and walks off the bus. I turn to see her go. Sure, my eyes are playing tricks on me. She's gone. It's like she walked off the bus and just fell into a wormhole. I looked at the spot we stopped at. No girl there. Was creeped out for the entire week. Case answer file 1342. Riding with my doppelganger. Many of these doppelganger sightings stem from multiverse sight, as evidenced by the girl disappearing after she got off the bus. Whatever space-time distortion enabled this was severed. She walked out of the field, I guess you could say. Or maybe the distortion went away on its own. In fact, I'd wager that other people on that bus saw themselves too. Other versions of themselves. These aren't very common events, but they do happen. Case file number 1343, written by Bearded Trucker. The bizarre events of the desert truck stop. I was stopped for the night at a truck stop in the desert, 60 miles east of El Paso, Texas. This truck stop only has lights around the store and fuel pumps. The truck parking lot area is only lit by any headlights that are left on. I get to bed around 2200, thinking it'll be a nice quiet night. At around 2:30 in the morning, I woke up to a tapping on my truck, like someone was trying to wake me up. I ignore it and try to go back to sleep, but the tapping gets louder and louder and eventually turns into a sound similar to someone beating their hand on my door and cab. I got out of bed and opened the curtains to the side. I heard the sound coming from there and there was nothing there. I opened the curtains on the other side and nothing there either. There were no trucks on either side of me, so I threw my shoes on, grabbed my machete and flashlight and went outside to see what the hell was going on. There was nothing, no footprints, no paw prints, absolutely nothing there. I get back in my truck and turn on my side markers, so I'm somewhat illuminated. Close the doors, lock them, and run my seatbelts through the door handle and buckle them in to add essentially another lock to both doors. I go back to bed and wake up at around 6:30. The sun is starting to come out, so I go inside for some coffee and breakfast before heading out. Other truck drivers were in there and experienced the same thing I did that night, with no answers as to what it was. I finished my breakfast and noped the hell out of there. Case on to file 1343. The bizarre events of the desert truck stop. A small side note here. I highly respect truck drivers and I think they don't get enough respect and recognition for their work. The long hours, always on the move, away from family, dealing with other drivers on the road constantly. No way I could do it. Not to mention the high level of skill that navigating towns and city streets, backing up into loading docks, etc. requires. Without truckers, nothing would get delivered to the supermarkets and stores, so invaluable. Many thanks. Sincerely. Now, could this have been a strange man trying to lure truckers out to rob them? I could see that. Though without any tracks on the ground, perhaps not. Good idea to loop the seatbelts through the door handles though. That's a good tip to keep. So I don't know if this was a glitch, something supernatural, or just weird human beings. Could be anything, really. You never found out and I hope you don't. Case file number 1344, written by Flebbon. A glitch in the Matrix at Ace Hardware. I went to Ace Hardware yesterday for a single item that I can only find there. I go to this specific store maybe twice a year, so I don't know anyone by name or face. As I set down my item at the register, the cashier says my name. I'm used to wearing a name tag at work, so I just say, "Yep." She asks for my phone number, and I provide it for her to type. She confirms my name as it pops up on her screen. I'll add that my name is fairly uncommon. At this point, I realized she had said my name twice now, but there's no way she could have known it before pulling up my account. I called her out and said, "I swear you said my name before I gave you my phone number." We make eye contact for a second, and at the same exact time, in complete synchronicity, we both say, "Must be a glitch in the Matrix or something." I stood there wide-eyed and slightly stunned. She seemed completely unaffected. She broke eye contact and said my total was on the screen. I laughed nervously, finished my transaction and left. My brain went many places trying to explain what had happened. Facial recognition? In a freaking Ace Hardware? No way. Maybe she knew me? I've definitely never seen this woman. Am I on some kind of list? Is she an all-seeing, all-knowing demigorgon? Glitch in the Matrix? Probably not, but I thought it would be fun to share. Case notes for file 1344. A glitch in the Matrix at Ace Hardware. An omniscient demigorgon? Let's leave that one in the back burner for now. Given her nonchalant reaction, this must have happened to her frequently. So much so that she's numb to the experience of having knowledge that she shouldn't have. Almost like it finds its way on its own into her subconscious. It's like a dam with a small crack in it. Water can't help but get through. But then I wonder what happens if the dam completely overflows. Too much knowledge. Can our minds handle it all? It's like in Indiana Jones at the end, where the person wanted that knowledge so much, but to the extent that it literally just fried their brains open. There's too much knowledge. Or of course there's Stargate SG-1 with O'Neill downloading all the Ancients' knowledge and his brain couldn't. It's like overloading a hard drive. It's rewriting things that you need to survive the base layer programming. So yeah, I could see that too much knowledge would be a severe problem. But there's mechanisms that keep the dam pretty robust, even if there's cracks. It's not like concrete, which, if there's a crack, it's gonna break eventually. In this case, it doesn't seem to happen. Good. Now time for the quote of the day. Always laugh when you can. It is cheap medicine. Lord Byron. I can't imagine cheaper medicine. Can you? And this pivots back to my rewatching of Friends. You can rewatch Seinfeld as well. How I Met Your Mother is decent. There's Yes Dear, Everybody Loves Raymond. There's so many good sitcoms that are just, good, fun humor. And sometimes that's exactly what you need. You don't need pills from a bottle. You need laughter for the soul. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.